Have you ever met someone who seemed too perfect? So charming, so in tune with your thoughts, it almost felt like fate. But deep down, something didn't sit right. What if that person isn't who they pretend to be? What if you're being manipulated and you don't even know it yet? Today, we're diving into 5 key signs that you're dealing with a con artist. People who don't just lie to you, they reprogram your trust, hijack your emotions, and play you like a fiddle. But there's a way to defend yourself through clarity, calm, and the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Before we begin, if you're serious about mastering your mind, sharpening your awareness, and protecting your peace, subscribe now. This channel is about building inner strength and seeing the world for what it is, not what someone wants you to believe. Let's get into it. 1. The illusion of perfect connection, weaponized charm. They smile just right, they laugh at your jokes, not just politely, but as if they genuinely find you hilarious. They listen so intently, maintaining eye contact, nodding at all the right moments. You feel like you've known them forever. They share your favorite movies, your obscure music tastes, and even say they had the same childhood dream of becoming an astronaut or an artist. It feels magical, like fate. But here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not magic. It's not even a coincidence. It's mirroring, a psychological technique used to reflect your preferences, values, and personality back at you. When someone mirrors you so closely, it can feel like an instant soul connection. In reality, it's often a tactic to bypass your critical thinking. You lower your guard not because they've earned your trust, but because they've simulated compatibility. So well, you assume it's real. This behavior isn't always malicious. Sometimes people unconsciously mirror those they admire. But when done with intention, especially early in a relationship or interaction, it can be a red flag. Manipulators, narcissists, and con artists use mirroring to disarm your defenses. They want access to your trust before you've had a chance to properly evaluate who they are. Think about it. Truly authentic relationships take time. They involve give and take, occasional friction, and genuine curiosity. When someone seems to know you too well, too quickly, that's not intimacy, it's performance. Mirroring is like dressing up in your emotional clothing, wearing your identity like a costume to gain access to your inner world. The danger lies in how seductive it is. You're not just flattered, you feel understood. And in a world where many feel isolated or unseen, being understood feels intoxicating. But understanding, real understanding, comes from shared experiences and mutual effort, not instant mimicry. There's also the illusion of emotional safety. If someone appears to like everything you like and validates every opinion you hold, you might assume they are safe. But this illusion is precisely what manipulative people want you to believe. It's not about knowing you. It's about controlling the version of themselves you see. So what do you do when charm feels too perfect? You pause. You resist the urge to assume intimacy where none has been earned. You ask questions. You take your time. Real connection doesn't demand speed. It doesn't require immediate surrender. It invites gradual trust building. Stoic reminder. Trust is not owed. It is earned through consistency and time. Don't trade your reason for a smile. Be patient. Let people reveal themselves over time instead of accepting the persona they present on day one. 2. Urgency is a lie. The rush to trap you. You need to act now. This opportunity won't last. If you hesitate, it's gone forever. If you've ever felt your heart race hearing these lines, you're not alone. They're designed to pressure you into compliance. Whether it's a fake emergency from a scammer, a pushy salesperson, or a manipulative partner, the message is always the same. Don't think, just act. This is manufactured urgency, and it is one of the most common tools of manipulation. The goal is to short-circuit your reasoning and provoke impulsive action. The moment you're rushed, you're no longer thinking strategically. You're reacting emotionally. Why does this work so well? Because it taps into two primal instincts: fear of loss and the desire to be agreeable. No one wants to miss out on something important, and no one wants to seem difficult or uncooperative. These instincts are exploited by manipulators to push you into decisions that serve their interests, not yours. You see it in scams that demand you wire money immediately, in job offers that expire in hours, in relationships where you're guilted into saying yes before you're ready. The pressure is the point, to make you act before you can assess. But here's the critical truth: anything legitimate can withstand your pause. If an opportunity disappears just because you took a day to think, it probably wasn't an opportunity. It was a trap. Stoic wisdom teaches us that our power lies in our ability to respond with reason, not react with emotion. The Stoics practiced mental clarity and emotional control even under pressure. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That includes acting under duress. When you feel rushed, stop. When someone panics you, breathe. Slowing down isn't weakness, it's strength. The ability to pause and evaluate is one of your greatest tools in resisting manipulation. Stoic reminder: pressure is a test. If someone rushes you, slow down. If they panic you, breathe. Calm is your power. Clarity is your shield. Anyone who genuinely respects you will give you the space to make a thoughtful decision. 3. The language of confusion. A fog of deception. Not all manipulation is loud. Some of the most dangerous lies are whispered in sophisticated, elegant phrases. It's not shouting, it's obfuscation. You've probably encountered someone who speaks in long, convoluted sentences filled with jargon, buzzwords, or pseudo-intellectual language. You walk away feeling unsure of what they meant, but reluctant to admit it. You assume you must have missed something. But in reality, you haven't missed anything. They've deliberately created confusion. This is called strategic ambiguity, using unclear or overly complex language to seem impressive while avoiding actual accountability. The purpose is twofold. First, to make you feel intellectually inferior. Second, to avoid being pinned down or challenged. The manipulator becomes a fog, always present but never clear enough to question. This technique is common in certain professions, toxic relationships, and even cult-like environments. It allows people to appear knowledgeable while evading scrutiny. If you don't understand what someone is saying but feel embarrassed to ask, you're being subtly manipulated. The Stoics valued clarity. Seneca, one of the great Stoic minds, emphasized that wisdom should be accessible and useful. If someone cannot explain something simply, they probably do not understand it, or they are hiding something. Think about this. Real confidence seeks to illuminate, not confuse. A wise person wants you to understand. A manipulator wants you to stay in the dark so they can maintain control. If you find yourself in a fog, ask, "Can you clarify that?" What does that mean in plain terms? If someone becomes defensive or irritated when you ask for clarification, that's your signal. Truth can stand up to scrutiny. Lies crumble under questions. You do not owe anyone blind agreement. And you are not less intelligent for asking for clarity. You are wise for doing so. Stoic reminder: if it's unclear, question it. If it doesn't make sense, pause. Real wisdom is simple. Truth doesn't hide behind complexity. Seek clarity like a warrior seeks light in the fog. Only then can you see your path forward. 4. Cracks in the story. The power of noticing. At first glance, everything seems perfect. The con artist enters your life like a character out of a well-written script, charming, attentive, and precisely in tune with your needs and wants. They remember details, flatter you subtly, and create a version of themselves that appears flawless. But this illusion can't last forever. The mask they wear is crafted with intention. But even the most skilled deceiver cannot maintain consistency forever. Eventually, cracks appear. These cracks are often small and easy to overlook. A changed name in a past story, a job title that sounds impressive but doesn't quite check out, a timeline that shifts slightly with each telling. Initially, you might dismiss these inconsistencies. After all, memory isn't perfect, right? We're all human. But this is precisely what they count on, your willingness to rationalize their errors and fill in the blanks with assumptions. The Stoics, however, urge us to practice the opposite. Where emotional reasoning would tell us to be forgiving, Stoic philosophy tells us to be observant and skeptical. Not cruel, just clear-eyed. A crack in the story isn't just a mistake, it can be a sign of a larger illusion, a meticulously constructed facade slipping for just a moment. And in that moment, the truth can be glimpsed. Con artists and manipulators juggle lies like balls in the air. It's a performance. While you're focused on the left hand, the right hand is switching the card. But eventually, even the most skilled juggler drops one. A name set out of place, a claim that can't be verified, a slip of the tongue. And that's your chance, not to accuse, not to confront with emotion, but to calmly take note. The key is to pay attention before the distraction comes, because distraction is their next move. When you start to question, they will often try to overwhelm you with a fresh wave of affection or a new dramatic story designed to pull your attention away from the flaw you just noticed. They rely on the fact that most people prefer comfort over conflict. They gamble on your willingness to doubt yourself instead of doubting them. Here's where Stoic discernment becomes a powerful ally. In the teachings of Epictetus, we are reminded that we cannot control what others say or do, but we can control how we interpret it. Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote about the importance of seeing things clearly, without adornment or illusion. Stoicism doesn't ask you to become cynical, but it does challenge you to become discerning, to recognize that not everything that feels good is good, and not everything that sounds true is true. This is not betrayal, it is awareness. To doubt a suspicious story is not to betray trust. It is to honor your own judgment. It is to take responsibility for your perception, to refuse to hand over your agency to the whims of another. This doesn't mean jumping to conclusions. It means gathering evidence. It means watching for patterns, not promises. Words can be rehearsed. Actions and inconsistencies cannot be hidden forever. Patterns reveal character. Over time, you might notice a repeated tendency to change the subject when asked about the past. You might see that explanations are always vague and just slightly inconsistent. They might say one thing and later contradict themselves without realizing it. These patterns aren't accidents, they are signs. A cracked mask doesn't just show a flaw, it often reveals the illusion itself. Once you notice one inconsistency, others tend to follow. Your job is not to fix the mask for them. Your job is to see it for what it is. Stoic reminder: pay attention to patterns, not promises. Cracked mask often reveals the whole illusion. Trust is earned through consistency, not charm. 5. Emotional engineering, when you feel special and lost. You're different. I've never told anyone this before. You just get me. When these words are spoken with sincerity, they can form the foundation of a powerful bond. But when they are used as tools of manipulation, they become something darker. a means to disarm your defenses and hijack your emotions. Emotional manipulation is subtle. It doesn't come with flashing lights or sirens. It often arrives in the form of flattery, deep eye contact, and confessions that feel intimate and exclusive. In the early stages, it feels magical. You're told you're special. You feel seen. You feel chosen. But soon, that magic starts to twist. The very intimacy that drew you in becomes a weapon. They begin to question your loyalty if you ask too many questions. They suggest you're overthinking things. They imply that you're not as connected as you once were. The compliments stop unless they want something. You begin to feel unsteady, like the ground beneath you is shifting. This is emotional engineering, the deliberate crafting of emotional highs and lows to increase your dependence and lower your resistance. By making you feel special, they anchor your self-worth to their approval. You find yourself chasing the highs, wondering what you did wrong when the warmth fades. They might disappear briefly, making you panic. Then they return, just long enough to flood you with affection again. This intermittent reinforcement is the same tactic used in gambling machines. Enough wins to keep you playing, just enough losses to keep you chasing. It's psychological conditioning, and it works, unless you're aware of it. The Stoics taught that our emotions should not be outsourced. Your peace should not depend on another's attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In the context of emotional manipulation, this is your anchor. You must remind yourself, being made to feel special is not the same as being respected. A healthy connection nurtures your confidence and clarity. It doesn't leave you feeling confused, anxious, or dependent. Ask yourself, are you feeling more centered or more unsure since this connection began? If the answer is the latter, something is wrong. Emotional manipulation relies on you being too invested to question the reality. But the moment you step back, just a little, you begin to see the mechanics of the trap. They're not sharing secrets because they trust you. They're performing intimacy to make you feel uniquely chosen. It's a tactic. And the moment you stop responding the way they want, the mask begins to slip. You might be met with coldness, guilt trips, or passive-aggressive remarks. These are not signs of love. They are signs of control. You are not crazy for noticing the shift. You are not selfish for protecting your peace. You are not cold for walking away. Stoicism gives you permission to step back without shame. It empowers you to say, "This dynamic does not serve my inner balance." It teaches that love is not possession, and connection is not control. The Stoic path isn't emotionless. It's emotionally intelligent. It values clarity over chaos, respect over reassurance, and strength over submission. Stoic reminder: healthy connection doesn't drain you, it strengthens you. If someone makes you feel special just to disorient you, walk away. Your inner peace is not for sale. Stay grounded. Stay free. The Stoics believed that freedom comes not from trusting others blindly, but from understanding yourself deeply. A con artist thrives where clarity dies. So keep your eyes open. Protect your mind. And remember, charm is not character, pressure is not opportunity, and confusion is not wisdom. Let your self-trust be your compass. Let reason guide your relationships, and let no one play you ever again. If this resonated with you, subscribe, share this message, and stay vigilant. The world may be full of illusion, but you don't have to fall for it. Stay sharp, stay strong, and as always, master yourself.